I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. As promised, or threatened, whatever part, I'll go ahead and finish up the series about the old world order being dead and the new world order is starting. But before I do that, I do want to say that over the last few days, I've been seeing information on the news that is supporting the same idea. In fact, we watched the flight radar thing about 3 European nations, Germany, one of them, flying to the United States on the eve of the talks in going on in Munich this weekend or this week. So European Union and Europe itself, even England, is basically begging the United States to be friendly with them and to start trades with them again in all things. So this is really evident, guys, about what I've been saying, that a new world order, not the old style of new world order, but a newer form of a new world order has emerged. And if you're watching news, guys, go ahead and hit the Euro News and Reuters and all these other things instead of the mainstream medias, which is really concentrated on one specific thing about this deal with the Guthrie stuff, which is, guys, it's I don't understand it. But anyway, guys, that's what a lot of the other ones is. But the real story is, guys, that the old world, the old traditions of the gentleman's club making deals is gone. And now everything is algorithms and bottom lines and things like this, guys. It's what is shown on paper. And remember, again, guys, that Larry Fink had said he wants to tokenize everything, including you, including the air, including the water, and everything else like that. It will be having a value assist to it, an asset. And Donald Trump did say at the beginning of his new administration or new term in office that he wants to put all American assets, to put a value on all American assets, which also, again, includes you, me, and everything else, even the air and water you use. So that is our new world order, guys. It is digitized, it's tokenized, and that has a value on everything, maybe even your thinking. So to recap, this is what this one is going to be a recap about what I have talked about the last 3 episodes of 3 videos about the old world order. So we'll go ahead and recap that today. This again is the thing I got rolled up to right here. So thanks to AI and everything like that, it's really cool to have this to form my thoughts and everything, put them together and link it together because, I'm not the smartest, but I do have a good nose for a lie. So it starts out the Great Hinge, from bloodlines to blood rock. Canaries in the coal mine. The Bogdanov twins, January 2022. Start with their passing as a symbolic end. They represented the 1980s mass media futurism, a time when power felt human, human, even if it was strange. Then the meme legacy, or as I call it, me, because it's all of this about me. The meme legacy, they became icons of the unregulated digital age, the cryptocurrency stuff, and the memes. Their deaths coincided with the first major crack in the digital Wild West, just before the 2022 crypto collapse. If the Bogdanovs were the end of the human main character energy, what replaced them? Part 2, The Great Clearing, 2022 as a historical hinge. The theme formed the exploration of the 20th century going into the 21st century. First, we have the political titans, which is Mikhail Gorbachev, Queen Elizabeth, and the president or premier of China, Jiang Zemin. I'm I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but he's the one there before Yeltsin. And Gorbachev was the founder or one of the pushers about ending the Cold War along with Ronald Reagan. Queen Elizabeth, of course, was the old way of doing things, old European dynasties of handling things. And of course, Yeltsin was after he died, he brought them into a global economy, which worked good for a while, but guys, all that is gone to hell and back. These figures held power through sovereignty and diplomacy. Their deaths created a power vacuum that was not filled by other leaders, but by systems. The last gatekeeper, the fall of old money. Jacob Rothschild, February 2024. He represents the final chapter of the old world order. For centuries, the Rothschild name was shorthand for centralized, family-led global finance. In the 20th century, he influenced the world through bloodlines and philanthropy. For the 21st century, that is replaced by AUM, assets under management, and AI algorithms. Jacob's death signaled the banker-statesman era is over. The new power players don't have family crest, they have server farms. Oh, I'll pause right here, guys. Got the news this morning that they got to go ahead and start putting these data centers that we've been talking about in low Earth orbit. And already I found out also that the Starlink systems that everybody's been talking about linked to satellite, internet, and everything like that, but actually they are a connected AI data center in orbit right now. I found some information linking that the Starlink is actually a orbiting data center. Wow, huh? How about that? So that's his turning point. The new players don't have Crest; they have server farms. The new sovereign, Larry Fink, and the age of Aladdin, which I talked about yesterday. I don't have what the acronym breaks down to, but if you watch the video I put out, the previous video about this, you'd find out about it. While politicians struggle with elections, BlackRock manages $14 trillion. Larry Fink's CEO letters have effectively replaced nations' manifestos as guiding light for global industry. The Aladdin system explains that the power is now a black box, which is an Aladdin thing. That's BlackRock's artificial intelligence monitors over $21 trillion in assets. This is the invisible nervous system of the new world order. Stakeholder capitalism. In 2026, BlackRock and Vanguard use financial materiality and stewardship to dictate how nations handle energy, labor, and technology, as well as food. You don't vote for them, yet they own the companies that provide you your food, fuel, and data. The conclusions: the New World Order of 2026. The Old World Order, pre-2022, built on nations, monarchs, and diplomats, was visible. It was visible, human, and frail. The New World Order, 2026 and beyond, built on institutional corporations. It is a world of corporate sovereignty where the BlackRock provides the infrastructure that governments can no longer afford. The New World Order is in a secret society, in a basement. It's a public asset manager in a skyscraper. We didn't transition into a new type of government. We transitioned into a global portfolio. The key data points from the script, 2026 update. BlackRock's Aladdin AI now influences more capital than the GDP of the U.S. and China combined. In 2026, corporate diplomacy is an official field. Companies now negotiate directly with states as equals. tech firms negotiating digital sovereignty with the European Union. The core paradox. We traded the stability of the Queen and the legacy of the Rothschilds for the efficiency of an algorithm. The year 2022 served as a historical great hinge, a violent closing of the 20th century that cleared the stage for a new, more clinical form of global power. While the world was distracted by the eccentric, meme-heavy passing of the Bogdanov twins at the start of the year, a series of much more foundationed pillars were collapsing. Igor Grechka Bogdanov represented the last of the humans' main character, larger-than-life figures whose fame was built on the charisma of the 1980s mass media. Their departure was the canary in the coal mine, as they said, signaling the end of an era where power felt human, even when it was strange. I want to take a side note about the Bogdanov twins. I won't call them brothers because there's speculation on that in my mind. They were born in Russia shortly after the end of World War II. Their father is not known of where his bouts, and their mother was connected to a lady in France. Their grandmother was in France. Shortly after their birth, she went to Russia, the grandmother did, and gathered up the twins and took them back and raised them in her castle in France, somewhat near Cern. The castle used to belong to one of the Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan, I think it was. I might be wrong. But it's steeped in history of the Masonic stuff and secret society stuff. And their grandmother was also connected into secret societies too. So these Bogdanovs have been a very big interest of mine in the past, and I did a lot of research on the guys. And there seems to be some kind of gene splicing, editing, or manipulation going on in their birth. And so that's really, and it's a closed subject now because it doesn't mean anything, but at the end of the Cold War, they separated the scientists, not only from Germany, but also the ones from Italy and other places as well as Japan. The United States, Russia divided up, basically in England, divided up the scientists and researchers that Germany and all these countries had, and they decided who gets who and who gets to work where. So Russia wound up with a lot of genetic scientists I won't call them genetic, but research scientists or doctors from Japan and also from Germany. And so right after the end of World War II, the Bogdanovs were born, and they were, another thing, they was born several, 40 minutes apart. I don't know if that's really a bad thing, but it does. It seems like there's something up with that. Then they whisked away to France shortly after, which is kind of odd. Anyway, we'll go on. As 2022 progressed, the old world order established after the World War began, is what they say, but of course we know it began back in Bavaria, Germany, or the 1300s, 1400s with the great-great-grandfather. They began to vanish in a series of high-profile funerals. The passing of Queen Elizabeth removed the world's ultimate symbol of institutional stability. Almost immediately, Mikhail Gorbachev died, just as the peaceful European home he envisioned was being dismantled by modern warfare, while Jiang Zemin's death marked the final expiration of an era of hyper-globalization. These leaders were the architects of a world governed by diplomacy, sovereignty, and heritage. When they left the stage, they didn't leave successors, they left a vacuum. The transition was finalized with the passing of Rothschild in early 2024. For over 2 centuries, the Rothschild's name was shorthand for centralized family-led finance. Jacob was the last of the banker statesmen, men who influenced the world through personal networks and grand philanthropy. However, by the time of his death, the engine of global influence had already migrated from wood, wood panel libraries to high-velocity server farms. We were witnessing the death of old money and the birth of something far more pervasive. Sorry, guys, I'm not reading well. It's a little dim here. By 2026, the new sovereign had officially arrived in the form of Larry Fink and BlackRock. This is a new era of institutional corporate commerce, where the traditional power of the state has been superseded by the black box. Unlike Rothschilds, Larry Fink does not rely on family crest or bloodline. His power is derived from Aladdin, an artificial intelligence system that monitors over $21 trillion in global assets, more than the United States and China combined. In this new world order, power is no longer about who owns the most land, but who manages the most data. The world we inhabit today is no longer a collection of nations negotiating through diplomats like Gorbachev. Instead, it is a global portfolio managed by institutional boards, through stakeholders, capitalism. Firms like BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street effectively set the policy for climate, labor, technology by shifting trillions of dollars with a single keystroke. This is the new world order, it says. In its final form, a self-correcting, data-driven loop that is immune to the death of any single individual. We have traded the visible, fragile stability of monarchs and titans for the more invisible, cold efficiency of the algorithm. And the rest of it, some more stuff. We'll get right here to the backup. No, let's all repeat this. Sorry, guys. That's about it right there, guys, in essence. And it's a breakdown of how we have transitioned from the old world order, which is run by the monarchs and statesmen and old blue blood and money, the European dynasty that held the world in check for centuries. And now we're into a digital age, a new frontier of commerce and everything like that. And again, this old money was part of the church's things, I guess is the best way to put it. They held sway over these monarchs and these rulers of the European dynasties. But now that is gone. The church no longer has power over the states that they used to. The church is dead. The power of the church is dead. Now we have Larry Fink and his other board members. We also have board members of State Street and other financial giants that are following a Jewish religious disorder. Their ties to Israel and the Jewish faith is strong. It's very evident. We didn't really lose a religious control of our financial world or our environment, our whole world. It just went to another one, a Jewish one. Hope y'all have a good day. And as always, reach out and do something nice for somebody. Because guys, it's getting short on time, and we need to be as good as possible to make everybody else vibrate at a higher frequency. How else are we going to get off this fucking rock if we don't start acting right? Later, daters.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.